ॐ सहनावतु सहनो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्यासम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः सर्वोपप्लवरहितः प्रज्ञानघनः प्रत्यगर्थः ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि नारायणं पद्मभवं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपदं महान्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमथास्य शिष्यं श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमथास्य पद्मपादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यं तं तोडकं वार्तिककारमन्यान् अस्मद्गुरून् सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि सदाशिवसमारम्भां व्यासशङ्करमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलं स्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवमुपास्महे निधये सर्वविद्यानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मनिधये वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं विदिताखिलशास्त्रसुधा जलधे महितोपनिषत् कथितार्थनिधे हृदये कलये विमलं चरणं भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणं भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणम् ॐ ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तन्नमामि ॐ परब्रह्मणे नमः श्रुतिमात्रे नमः समस्तब्रह्मविद्याचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमः ओं श्री वेदव्यास वैशंपायन याज्ञवल्क्य आद्यशंकरादि तैत्तिरीय उपनिषदाचार्येभ्यो नमः अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः समस्तगुरूणां देवतानां परब्रह्मणः श्रुतिमातुः अनुग्रहेण उपनिषदुक्तब्रह्मात्मैक्यमोदसिद्ध्यर्थं सनातनधर्मस्य वैदिकसंस्कृतेः हैन्दवसंस्कृतेः पुनरुत्थानजागरणविश्वव्याप्त्यर्थं तत्कृते कङ्कणबद्धसमस्तसाधकसेवकौपासकसंस्थापकानां समस्तदिव्यशक्तीनां साधनानां सम्पदानाम् आनुकूल्यतानाम् अवाप्तिद्वारा बाह्य अभ्यन्तर समस्तशत्रुविघ्ननिर्मूलनद्वारा धर्मसंस्थापनकार्ये दिग्विजयार्थम् अस्माकं साधकानाम् आयुरारोग्य ऐश्वर्य क्षेमस्थैर्यादिप्राप्त्यर्थं विश्वशान्ति एकता कल्याणप्राप्त्यर्थं श्री पवमानसूक्तस्य पारायणं श्री कृष्णयजुर्वेदान्तर्गत तैत्तिरीय उपनिषदः आद्यशंकर भाष्य समेत अध्ययनं श्री पातंजल महर्षेः प्रणीत योगदर्शन शास्त्रस्य व्यासभाष्य समेत अध्ययनं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे। आदौ वेदमन्त्राणाम् उच्चारणान्तर्गत पवमानसूक्तस्य पारायणं करिष्यामहे। Let us enjoy our day to begin with the most divine work of chanting the Veda mantra. Let this punyaha vachana Pavamana Sukta Parayana remove all the aristas, all the dushtatas from within our bosom so too from around us, and may it bring all the auspiciousness so that our Adhyatmika pursuit becomes obstruction less. So too these prayers of ours be extended to the entire universe cosmos, that everywhere the Papa Nishkruti should happen, Punya Pravaha alone should happen. If we can expand our vision from our own individual to total and pray accordingly, it is a higher step in our sadhana. So may we do the sankalpa for the samashti also. ॐ अथ श्री पुण्याहवाचनं पवमानसूक्तम् ॐ हिरण्यवर्णाः शुचयः पावकाया सुजात कश्यपोयास्विन्द्रः अग्निं व्यागर्भं दधिरे विरूपास्तान आपश्यग् स्योना भवन्तो या सागं राजा वरुणो याति मध्ये सत्यानृते अवपश्यं जनानाम् मधुश्च्युतश्चुचयो शुचयो याः पावकास्तान आपश्यग्गस्यो न भवन्तु यासान् देवा दिवि कृण्वन्ति वक्ष्यं य अन्तरिक्षे बहुधा भवन्ति याः पृथिवीं पयसोदन्ति शुक्रास्तान आपश्यग्गस्यो न भवन्तो शिवेन मा चक्षुषा पश्यता शिवया तनुवोपस्पृणतत्त्वचं मे सर्वागम् अग्नीकं रप्सुषदो हुवे वो मयि वर्चो बलमोजो निधत्य पवमानः सुवर्जनः पवित्रेण विचर्षणिः यः पोता स पुनन्तु मा देवजनाः पुनन्तु मनवो धिया पुनन्तु विश्व आयवः जातवेदः पवित्रवत् पवित्रेण पुनाहि मा शुक्रेण देवदीद्यत अग्ने क्रत्वा क्रतूपं रनो यत्ते पवित्रमर्चिषि अग्ने विततमन्तरा ब्रह्मतेन पुनीमहे उभाभ्यां देव सवितः पवित्रेण सवेन च इदं ब्रह्म पुनीमहे वैश्वदेवी पुनति देव्यागात् यस्यै बह्वीस्तनुवो वीतपृष्ठाः तया मदन्तः सधमाद्येषु वयग्गस्यामपतयोरयीणाम् वैश्वानरो रश्मिभिर्मा पुनातु वातः प्रणेने मिशिरो मयो भुवः द्यावा पृथिवी पयसा पयोभिः ऋतावरी यज्ञिये मा पुनीताम् बृहद्भिः सवित्रस्त्रुभिः वर्षिष्ठैर्देवमन्मभिः अग्ने दक्षैः पुनाहि मा येन देवा अपुनदो येनापो दिव्यङ्कषः तेन दिव्येन ब्रह्मणा इदं ब्रह्म पुनीमहे यः पावमानीरध्येते ऋषिभिः सम्भृतगं रसं सर्वगं सपूतमश्नाति स्वदितिं मातरिश्वना पावमानीर्यो अध्येते ऋषिभिः सम्भृतगं रसं तस्मै सरस्वती दुहे क्षीरगं सर्पिर्मधूदकं पावमानी स्वस्तयनीः सुदुगाहि पयस्वतीः ऋषिभिः सम्भृतो रसः ब्राह्मणेष्वमृतगं हितं पावमानेर्दिशन्तु नः इमं लोकमथो अमं कामान् समर्थयन्तु नः देवीर्देवैः समावृताः पावमाने स्वस्तयनेः सुदुःखाहि घृतश्च्युतः ऋषिभिः सम्भृतो रसः ब्राह्मणेष्वमृतगं हितं येन देवाः पवित्रेण आत्मानं पुनते सदा तेन सहस्रधारेण पावमान्यः पुनान्तु मा प्राजापत्यं पवित्रं शतोद्यामगं हिरण्मयं तेन ब्रह्मविदो वयं भूतं ब्रह्म पुनीमहे इन्द्रः सुनीते सह मा पुनातो सोमस्वस्त्या वरुणः समीच्या यमो राजा प्रमृणाभिः पुनातु मा जातवेदामोर्जयन्त्या पुनातो भोर्भुवस्सुवः ॐ तच्छंयोरावृणीमहे गातुं यज्ञाय गातुं यज्ञपतये दैवी स्वस्तिरस्तु नः स्वस्तिर्मानुषेभ्यः ऊर्ध्वं जिगातु भेषजं शन्नो अस्तु द्विपदे शं चतुष्पदे ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ अथ श्री कृष्ण यजुर्वेदान्तर्गत तैत्तिरीय आरण्यकान्तर्गत तैत्तिरीय शाखान्तर्गत तैत्तिरीय उपनिषत् ॐ यस्माज्जातं जगत्सर्वं यस्मिन्नेव प्रलीयते येनेदं धार्यते चैव तस्मै ज्ञानात्मने नमः यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान्नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहं तैत्तिरीयकसारस्य मयाचार्यप्रसादतः विस्पष्टार्थरुचीनां हि व्याख्येयं सम्प्रणीयते ॐ अथ शान्तिमन्त्रः ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मावादिशं ऋतमवादिशं सत्यमवादिशं तन्मामावीत तद्वक्तारमावीत आवीन्माम् आवेत् वक्तारम् ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ अथ द्वितीया ब्रह्मानन्दवल्ली शान्तिमन्त्रः ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ अथ पञ्चमोऽनुवाकः chant the Panchamanuvakam. Om Vijnanam Yajnantanute Karmani Tanute Picha Vijnanan Devas Sarve Brahmajeshtamupasate Vijnanam Brahmachedveda Tasmat Chenna Pramadyati Sharire Papmano Hitva सर्वान् कामान् समश्नुत इति तस्यैष एव शारीर आत्मा यः पूर्वस्य तस्माद्वा एतस्मात् विज्ञानमयात् अन्योन्तर आत्मानन्दमयः तेनैष पूर्णः स वा एष पुरुषविद एव तस्य पुरुषविधताम् अन्वयं पुरुषविदः तस्य प्रियमेव शिरः मोदो दक्षिणः पक्षः प्रमोद उत्तरः पक्षः आनन्द आत्मा ब्रह्मपुच्छं प्रतिष्ठा तदप्येष श्लोको भवति ॐ शान्तिः 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 wholeheartedly let us salute the Parabrahma Tattva, let us salute Shruti Mata, let us salute all the Brahma Vidya Acharyas and the Parampara in general. Let us salute our own Taittiriya Upanishad, Acharya Parampara of Vyasa Vaishampayana Yajnavalkya Adi. Let us humbly salute Bhagavan Sri Adi Shankara Bhashyakara for making us understand the subtle Upanishad mantras through his Bhashyam. Let us also salute all the Gurus, all the Mahatmas who are blessing us in one way or the other, some way or the other, throughout our journey of spiritual evolution. In this very life also, so many Mahatmas touched us, blessed us. Our humble offering salutations at their feet. Let us salute our own Gotra Rishi Acharya, our own Swaguru Parampara, as well as our own Swaguru. Also to our Ishtadevata. In spiritual evolution, the first thing is what? After many lives of study of Shastras, first thing should happen. It will not happen. We have to make it happen. Is accepting about the presence of some truth, some reality beyond and behind what we are obviously seeing with ourselves and around ourselves. I know myself as an individual consciously. I know the world in front of me with so huge variety of things. Beyond that world, beyond this. Accepting the presence of something is the first achievement in spiritual study. Studying Shastra is different, but accepting the presence of some truth beyond this is different. We all are studying, but have we wholeheartedly accepted presence of it? Now see, if that presence itself is firmly not understood or accepted, how can we pursue? And that's why we are not pursuing. Second thing is what? That alone is reality. Anything, everything other than is an imagination projection. Second point, we have to be very clear about it. Through the study of Shastras, this second thing should happen in our life. Third thing should happen is what? Just because of or because of the reason of ourselves dissociated with the truth or reality, we are suffering all the sufferings of all sorts of limitations. This third thing also should happen very firm in our understanding. Because of my dissociation or separation from that infinite truth or reality, that I am suffering all my limitations of all sorts. If this is also not understood, we are never going to start our spirituality at all. Then the fourth one, therefore, unless and until I go back and associate myself, identify myself with the truth reality, there is no redemption to me from my own self created, self accepted limitations. Unless this fourth point happens, you know, only after this thing, that unless I go back and identify with my own that infinite essential self, I cannot be freed from my own self-created limitations and miseries. If this fourth point is not understood, the first step of spirituality never starts. And the first step of spirituality is therefore inquiring what is that limiting me. That is called as Viveka. So, for us to start in our spiritual journey, the first step called as the Viveka, first step Viveka. For that itself, we have to go through a long time of listening to Shastras in which these four things we have to be clear. Because these four are not clear, therefore we have not even started Viveka. Array, when Viveka is start nahi hua, then how can we understand what is binding us? If we can't understand what is binding us, how can we have Vairagya for it? If we don't have Vairagya for it, how can we desire for as well as try and achieve? The control of the mana called as Shama, the control of the Indriyas called as Dhamma. After this only we are at the Sampragnata Yoga Sthiti in Yoga Shastra, Uparati in our Vedanta Shastra. How do we achieve that? Only after that only to exhaust the prarabdha, whatever happening in and around our life, taking it as prarabdha, without reacting, we can practice. The fourth sadhana of the titiksha. Then only there is a meaning for, or the practice for, or the need for, and the having strongly the fifth thing called as Shraddha. A Shraddhavan Vyakti alone will be always in search of the truth, in inquiry of the truth, or in the increasing intensity of desire for truth, called as Samadhanam. After all these only, the zeal in us, zest in us, the positive one, called as mumukshuta. Understand? Only after the desire to get liberated from the limitations and bondages, very strong, called as mumukshuta, that we can go to the Guru and surrender to him and pass in all the tests conducted by him. And then, at his own disposal, when we are out of his own compassion, he will teach us the Brahma Vidya Shravanam. Then only we can do the mananam of that. Then only the crystal clear understanding unambiguously about the truth, its nature, its place of availability, what are those which are covering this truth, the Panchakoshas, how each one has to be understood. In the understanding of them itself, they are found to be unreal, found to be imagined, found to be the not self, therefore found to be or understood to be rejected. These things will happen. Only in this way, one by one, layers or the obstructions or the covers, when we discover, then we will be seeing the truth. This is how the spiritual journey happens. So, all our Shastra Dhenam first should lead us to these four things. Now, added to this is one more, very essential. What is called in Vedanta, in Viveka Chudamani, in all the texts, in our Shruti Mata, and all the great texts of Yoga Vasishtha and all, again and again is said. One is wanting to grow spiritually. Second is how strong is that want. All what we said now, how much seriously we have heard that, how much seriously we felt for it, how strongly we felt it. Depending on that is our sense of urgency, depending on that is our intensity of all sadhanas. So, first of all, we have not understood. Even if somebody is understood, still there is a biggest problem, the problem of not having the Tivra Samvega. Why? Because the desire to know the truth immediately has not come. Such people with all the theory, they will be worldly. With the worldliness, slowly either the theory disappears or only remains as theory. That is why, see, Manda Madhyama Rupapi Vairagyena Shamadina Prasadena Guru Sayam Pravruddha Suyate Phalam. In Viveka Chudamani, about the Mumuksha, it is said. And the Mumukshuta is also three types, Manda and Madhyama and Tibra. So Manda Madhyama Rupa, always it is Manda and Madhyama to any of the spiritual seekers. The desire to get liberation is very Manda and Madhyama. But Vairagyena, the matured Vairagya, then Samadhina, see, Shamadhi, sorry, not Samadhi. Here the yoga mein Samadhi, Shamadhina, to the practice of Shamadama Paramatidiksha Shraddha Samadhanam, then Prasadena Guroho. When we are continuously in surrender to the Guru and serving him through Guru Prasada, Pravruddha, having become very Tivra, that Mumuksha makes us to do sadhana and Suyate Phalam. It delivers the results to us. As we saw in Yoga Darshanam also. Tivra Samveganam Asannaha is the highest point said, leaving the rest for us to understand that if that Samvega is not Tivra, our efforts cannot be Tivra, therefore we will be delayed in our spiritual evolution. The problem in the delay is what? In that delayed time, we keep on adding newer and newer samskaras for the vritti, and again to remove those vrittis, again we have to do the yamaniyamadi sadhana for more lives. That is why much before the sadhanas indicated in the Yoga Darshana, Tivra Samveganam Asanna is said, and the next one, Mrudu Madhya Tivra Adimatratvat Tatopi Visheshaha, it is said there. In the same way, in our life, with all of our goodness, The reasons too, because of which we don't progress spiritually is, first of all, the complete clarity is not there. Only after the complete clarity, the second one, the intense sadhana because of the urgency of wanting to reach the goal. Is it not? If the clear understanding is not there, then sense of urgency will not be. If the sense of urgency is not there, our sadhanas will be very meager, very mediocre. It will be just formal only. Like nowadays, our japa, formality. Upasana, formality. Shravanam, formality with little respect. स्वाध्याय तो है ही नहीं, कोशिश ध्यान के लिए किया ही नहीं अभी तक. Is it not? We are asking the Lord, bless, bless, bless. भगवान से यार मेरा ब्लेसिंग्स और दूसरी तरह से नहीं होते हैं, मेरे ब्लेसिंग्स तुमको अपॉर्चुनिटी देने में होते हैं. You use them. Is it not? What is the opportunity? Freedom from obligations and duties. So much of freedom in a day out of 24 hours we get. 6 to 8 hours at certain age. Once the other obligation, duty of children, society, everything taken care, especially the people of your and my age, भगवान से मैं दिन में 8 घंटे दे रहा हूँ तुमको, इससे ज़्यादा मैं क्या करूँ? सुबह को एक स्वामी को भेजा टू टीच एवरीथिंग. Throughout the day, I kept everybody away from you. You, instead of doing your sadhana, you are only involving in the world. Is it not? Even if the entire world falls on your head, yet you should say no to them because your goal is spiritualization. You have to do sadhana. Instead of that, you yourself are taking initiative and going into again medhaya pihitaha, the world which is covering your wisdom, which is diluting your own convictions, which are removing the sense of urgency in you. So become wise in this regard, and then whole day be in this mood of spiritual evolution, spiritual sadhana. It is in your hands, my dear. Bhagavan is saying this. So therefore, that is why it takes time. When you give time, it takes efforts. We have to put the efforts. And the efforts are relentless listening. The listening should lead to the four first things. After those four things only, the true viveka, true vairagyadi, sadhana chatushtaya sampada. Then only what we listen from the Guru we value. Then we contemplate on that. Then we catch the summary essence of that. Then we start doing the sadhana of that. Then really sadhana happens. उसको उनको कहते हैं एक गंभीर विद्यार्थी, a sincere and serious seeker of the truth. A matured person in spirituality is like that in this way practically. And all of us don't have any of these things. We are only exhausting our punya phala through just mechanically listening shastras. When that punya phala is over, like the people leave the class now, like that we also leave one day back to the world in a so much as if nothing happened in last 3 years of listening all the classes. हाँ हो गया, स्वामी ने बोला हमने सुना. So to me, there were some people to listen. I spoke to them. That was just like that only. The world is important. The samsara is important. Let us enjoy it. That type of maya again will cover us. If you are not encashing the present opportunity given in all these things. First, be thorough in listening and understanding. That should lead to those said first four things. Then mean business to create the Viveka Vairagya, the Sadhana Chatushtayam. Then intensify that Mumukshata, the fourth of the Sadhana Chatushtaya. Then let us make our Shravanam Mananam more vigorous, more meaningful. Then the Nididhyasana में हमेशा रहना. The Nididhyasana of Vedanta is equal to the effort of Asampragnata Samadhi of the Yoga. Only in this Nididhyasana, the Vyatirekata of the Anatma will happen, Anvaya of the Atma will happen in Vedanta. In Yoga Darshanam, only in the Asampragnata Yoga effort, where we have Paravairagya, even for the Viveka Khyati, that the Vritti Nirodha completely happens then we are face to face with our own Sarupa Avasthanam. Then only the Kaivalyam there, here, Atma Prapti or Brahma Prapti or Brahmatmaikya Bodha. Then only Mukti from all the limitations of Jiva Deha Adhibhava and the struggles through them to avoid the miseries to become happy. है ना, दुख को निकालने के लिए एक तरह का स्ट्रगल हमको होता है, सुख को पाने के लिए दूसरा तरह का स्ट्रगल हमारा होता है. दोनों स्ट्रगल ही रहते हैं, न दुख मिटा न सुख मिला. Because only in the spiritual sadhana and siddhi that it will happen, that we saw as the third point. There is a truth, reaching that alone is moksha, ah, and that alone is real, everything other than is unreal. Because of our being away from the truth, that we are suffering, and only when I identify back with the truth, that I will be liberated. The fourth point is here, you can match with. So may our study of Shastras give us the clear understanding of all these things, and may our these understandings always be there, right from the depth of our heart to the surface of our mana, so that we are meaning business of spiritual sadhana and evolution at every price and cost and effort. That we seek nothing, nothing, nothing but the truth, but the self, but the reality, nothing in the world. To that extent of intensity when it comes. That the commitment of Dhruva, till the Bhagavan is giving darshana, I will not get up from my tapasya. The firm commitment of this Prahaladas, the firm commitment of this Nachiketas, unless I get this Brahma Vidya, I'll not leave this place, or I'll not give up my commitment, or I want nothing else. So these stories, when we read, the essences we miss. What we study is they are great. They really behaved like that. That is how they pleased the Guru. Therefore, the Guru blessed them with the knowledge. ऐसे बातों को हम एक सिनेमा की तरह देखते हैं, सुनते हैं. हमारे दिमाग में बैठना चाहिए. We also have to be intense like that. Then only we also are blessed by the Mrityu giving Yamaraja. Instead of giving Mrityu, he gave the Amrita Swarupa Jnana. मरण को देने वाला यमराज अमरण को वाला मोक्ष ज्ञान दिया. It is because of the Nachiketa's greatness. Those main things through those stories, or any the story of Rishi Muni, we have to learn in our life. If that subjectification of the objectively heard knowledge and inspiration is not done, then we just study spirituality objectively only, as if an information, as if some understanding. That's it. वो किसको कभी भी नहीं बदला. That is why नायमात्मा प्रवचनेन लभ्यः न मेधया न बहुना श्रुतेन. देखो, neither by giving pravachanam, nor by remembering all the mantras, nor by listening eternally, that you get the Brahma. है ना, यमेव एषः वृणते तेनैव लभ्यः. Whoever is desiring only Brahma Tattva, nothing else other than that. In that way, when he is doing all sadhanas given to him alone, tasya esha atma swam tanum vibhrunute, the self is revealed to that person. So these are the things we have to become contemplative every day. We have to increase our contemplative hours. We have to increase the depth of our understanding, intensity of our understanding, then the intensity in our wanting to reach the goal, intensity of our committed sadhanas. When these are done, then we can really feel that we have done something. First thing is what? I must be satisfied that I am putting my due efforts. Are we satisfied? I too am not satisfied, because the capacities are much more. Lot of abilities, capacities Bhagavan has given. Out of that, maybe 3 or 4% we are listening, we are using by being coming to our classes. But much more ability, capacities are there. When they are also used, then there is a joy from within that I am doing my best. Then we can have that courage and honesty to pray to God. भगवान मुझे जो करना था पूरा मैंने कर दी, देन नाउ इट इज इन योर कोर्ट, द बॉल इज यू हैव टू ब्लेस. भगवान तो हर बार फूट फूट कर हंसते हैं. वेन एवर यू आस्क हिम, ओ लॉर्ड ब्लेस मी, टेक केयर ऑफ मी. अरे बुद्धू, जो तुमको कहा करने को पहले वो पूरा कर. You know, unless you finish what you are supposed to do, my blessings cannot start. What can I do? Like, that marathon race or that 4 into 100 wala. Unless that fellow first one comes and gives it to the second one, he cannot run. In the same way, if we don't do our own due, blessings of Lord will never be coming to us. That is a condition that we have to accept. And then we do what we can or we are told to do. Then the Lord says, yes, good, you have done. I'm there now to do the further thing. Everywhere, unless I plant the tree, how can the Lord through the Prakriti work to grow it? Unless I put the rice, etc., on this stove, how the Lord in the form of Agni, how can He make that rice boiled, etc.? Unless I eat the food, how can he start his work as a Vaishwanara to digest the food? Everywhere. Unless I do the karma, how can he start thinking and giving the due karma phala? Unless I do my due sadhana, there's no scope for him to start. Like, in every of the activities, like building construction वगैरह में, फर्स्ट डे ही आकर के इलेक्ट्रिशियन प्लम्बर वो काम नहीं करते. वहां तक जाने के लिए पहले ऑल बिल्डिंग्स आउटलाइन शुड बी मेड पूरा. देन एवरीवन हैज देयर ओन टाइम टू कम एंड डू द फिक्सिंग्स. सब कुछ होने के बाद देन द फाइनल व्हाट इज ब्लास्टिंग कुछ मिस हो गया करके देन दे डू द फ्लोरिंग, देन द पेंटिंग, देन द फ्लोरिंग एंड देन द फिनिश देखो दे दिया आपको. शुरू में थोड़ी होता है पेंटिंग वाला, लास्ट में होता है. सेम वे we all are in a notion that Lord will bless without doing our sadhana. No. We have to do Ananya Chintantu Mam. We have to do Yojana Paripasate. We have to become Nitya Viptanam. Then he says Aham Yogaksham. We have to do Sarvadharvan Paritejya. We have to do Mamekam Sharanam. Then only Aham Tva Sarvabhe Mokshisha. Everywhere, unless we do what we are supposed to do, we ourselves are not allowing him to help us. This secret we have to catch it and then feel that misery inside that so far we have not done what we are supposed to do. Then to erase that guilt or misery, let us become intense from now onwards to do what we have to do from our sides. And what we have to do is what? Intensify listening, intensify contemplation, intensify the understanding, and do the due whatever the Viveka Vairagya, the keeping the things away. To make it more clear, use the yoga sadhana, bring the mind to the vritti nirodha sthiti. With that mind, contemplate on the self, discover the self. So this is how every one of us have to grow. May the Lord's blessings be realized by us. May we use them and do our own due with all commitments. So having said so, today we felt गुरुवार है, सारे गुरुओं के कृपा से एक बार what we are we doing right or not, what is missing in us. So just because of that inquiry, all these thoughts we just revised. Just felt the need of it before just mechanically talking, listening, talking, listening. So may the Parampara's Kripa be always with us, which is already there. May we recognize it. May we make full use of it with our own due efforts. Now, having done so, we are into the Panchama Anuvaka of the Brahmananda Valli of the Taittiriya Upanishad of the Taittiriya Shakha of the Taittiriya Aranyaka of the Taittiriya Valli. Okay? Taittiriya Shakha, Taittiriya Aranyaka Upanishad. This Panchama Valli has two portions to talk. First portion, it is a quote from the Rigveda talking about what is said in Yajurveda Brahmana about Vijnana is true. Vignanamaya Kosha. Second portion is introducing us the Anandamaya Kosha, which is the again Yajurveda Brahmana. in the first portion of the Rigveda quotation, which is so powerful, important, four topics are discussed. First one is the explanation of the Vijnanamaya Kosha, little more added details along with what was said in the fourth Anuvaka about Vijnanamaya Kosha. The next topic is doing the Upasana that the Vijnanamaya Kosha is Brahma. Third topic is the phala of that. Fourth topic is firmly saying finally that this Vijnanamaya is the Atma of the Manomaya. Without Vijnana, Mano cannot be. Therefore, when the Vijnana is the Atma of the Manomaya, how can you have the Manomaya as your Atma? Therefore, your Atma also is Vijnanamaya. Thus, we are freed from our Tadatmya with the Vijnanamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, and we are lifted to the identity of the Vijnanamaya Kosha. This most beautiful achievement is being made to be achieved by us through the discussion on this Panchama Anuvaka, which we yesterday started slowly with the Bhashya to study, before which the mantras simple word to word meaning we saw. Just to remind ourselves in 2 minutes, what is the Panchamanavaka saying? See the book, Vijnanam Yajnam Tanute. It is Vijnanamaya Kosha, because of which all the yajnas are happening. Therefore, yajna should happen. In that, the individuality is not brought only to say that the individuality should be only for doing the yajna karma. Second one immediately, not only Vedokta yajna karma the Vijnanamaya does, but all the other Vyavaharik karmas which we do, for our own survival and sustenance, all of those karmas also are not done by Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya. They are also done by the Vijnanamaya. Therefore, Karmani Tanute Picha. Karmani api Vijnanamaya eva Tanute. Is a Vijnanamaya Kosha who is the doer of the yajnas and all other non-Vaidika karmas. Vaidika yajna, non-Vaidika karma. Anything required. Everything Veda need not tell. इस ब्रश से इस पेस्ट से दांत मांजो ऐसा करके the Veda will not say. Veda will only say keep clean and neat. And as the time is passed by, we discover many other things to do. Those things required to be done, called as karmani, that also is done by the Vijnanamaya Kosha only. This much is a quotation of the Rigveda mantra to substantiate the presence of the Vijnanamaya Kosha said in the Yajurveda Brahmana. Vijnanam Yagnam Tanute Karmani Tanute Vicha is a wonderful explanation where the doership all is recognized to be at the Vijnanamaya Kosha level. And that Vijnanamaya Kosha having Shraddha, SHRI and all of that, Bhashyakara's explanation, which we saw, again we'll just refer. Then the Upasana of the Vijnanamaya to be the Brahma. See, Vijnanam Yajnam Tanute Karmani Tanuknivita. Then Vijnanam Devaha Sarve Brahma Jeshtam Upasate. See, Devaha Sarve Vijnanam Brahma iti Upasate. That Brahma is Jeshtam. All the Devas are doing the Upasana of the Vijnanamaya to be the Brahma as the Jeshtam, to be the Brahma. Why? Because he is Jeshtam. The Brahma being Jeshta, having understood it, all the Devatas are doing the Upasana that the Vijnanamaya Kosha is Brahma only. Now, when you see the literal meaning, the word meaning is understood. Little logic explanation is required. Therefore, the Bhashya comes to help us. Some places are very direct. Vijnanam Yajnam Tanute. So, the Vijnanamaya Kosha is the one which is making the yajnas possible. Karma and Tanukte Bija, easily understandable. So Vijnanam Devaha Sarve Upasati is understood. But Brahma Jeshtam needs the explanation. Therefore Bhashya. Sarve Devaha Vijnanam Upasate. All Devatas do the Upasana of the Vijnanamaya as the Brahma. Why? Because Brahma is Jeshta. What is the meaning of it? We will see. Then, if Devatas are doing, then what is the benefit they are getting? The Bhashyakara will have to say. Therefore, the purpose of giving the example of Devatas, that they do the Upasana, that the Vijnanamaya is Brahma, is what? For us also to get inspired. Therefore, we also should be told, we should also to do the Vijnanamaya Kosha as the Brahma, the Upasana. But this Upasana, in this particular case, unlike the earlier one, need to be added with some extra precautions. The extra precautions are what? Tasma chet na pramadyati. So, Vijnanam Brahma chet Veda, Tasma chet na pramadyati. These are the two things we have to do. विज्ञान अपने विज्ञानमय कोश को भी ब्रह्म है ऐसा उपासना करना है along with that न प्रमाद्यते. One should be more careful about not allowing the pramada to come into us. What it is, we'll study through Bhashyam. Like in Gita 6th chapter, Uddhared Atmanatmanam. Many of us quote only this. But more important than this is the second one, which we never quote to. What is that? Na Atmanam Avasadayet. Don't allow yourself to fall from that status. Like Uddhared Atmanatmanam, coming to the class and getting inspired about spiritual sadhana and go. The moment class is over, all this is fizzled out. Again we are back to samsara. That is called as avasadana. In the puja room, we do puja or japa, bring our mind to calm and steady position. Same mind when we come out, again the English kama is gone, the Sanskrit kamana comes, again we fall down. That is called as the avasadhanam of the Atma. Here also, while doing the upasana, you have to take care that there is no pramada. And what is the pramada? Bhashyakara will tell us. Then the third topic, the Falashruti. The first two words told about, first two sentences told about the Vijnanamaya's authority of the Rigveda. Second 2-3 lines told us about the Upasana we have to do as the Vijnanamaya as Brahma. But the example of the Devatas given that they also do. When they do, what are their benefits? That will be told by Bhashyakara. When we also do Vijnanamaya Kosha as Brahma Upasana, while doing so, you have to be careful about it. What is careful? Not only do the Upasana, don't allow yourself to fall into Pramada. Tasmat na pramadyati chet. Chet means if this also is added, means this also must be added. Then the Falashruti, the third topic, Sharire Papmano Hitva. See, all the papas that are there in our Sthula Sukshma Karana Sharira, which have been accumulated from such a long time. And in the future, whatever we are going to do, all of them will be dropped by us. This is the removal of all negative. Positive is what? Sarvan Kaman Samashnuta iti. Is it not? That is the mantra. Sarvan Sharire Papanoitva Sarvan Kaman Samashnuta iti. He will enjoy all the kamanas. Of what? Not Brahma. Of this Vijnanamaya, whose Upasana we have done as the Brahma. Here Brahma is Hiranyagarbha. तो हिरण्यगर्भ के जो कामनाएं हैं हमको मिलते हैं. Now, what we studied in the Upasana Kanda of the first Valli, Shiksha Valli, where we were told, that Bhuriti va Agnihi Bhavariti Vayo Suvaritya Aditye Mahiti Brahmani. Then the Phala, Apnoti Swarajyam Apnoti Brahmanaspati Vakpatis Chakshushpati. Remember that, and this is connected. So we should remember that when we study this. That is how, till the Upanishad thoroughly studied, nowhere the mind is distracted. That is how in a Gurukula, Guru and disciple stay committed in giving and taking the knowledge. Unlike what we are, only in 1 hour we are in the class. Remaining time, the Upanishad is Gaya Apne Man Se. Some the whole world till the next day. For you and me also. So this is not the way Upanishad is studied actually. All the Upanishad Vedanta has to be studied in a secluded atmosphere of ashrama type of atmosphere, where other than this adhyanam, nothing else is entertained. But we entertain politics, we entertain the worldliness, we want every news of the world to know. We want to do all other things and involve in new things. With so much of disturbance in Antakarana, how can we use the same Antakarana for Brahma Vidya? See, this is where we have to mature now. There's no way. If we really want to get benefit, etc. So with this, the Vijnanamaya is explained according to the mantra. Bhasha we have to study now. Now in the second portion also, continuation. Before that what is said? This Vijnanamaya is the Atma of the Manomaya. The fourth topic of the first portion of the fifth Anuvaka. What is it? Ki tasya esha eva sharira atma. तस्य मनोमयस्य एषः विज्ञानमयः मनोमय शरीरे भूत्वा तस्य आत्मा भवति. Having stayed inside the manomaya, permeating the manomaya, this vijnanamaya is the atma of the manomaya. Therefore, you are atma also. Therefore, you are not even manomaya, you are vijnana. By the time we are convinced, Amma, now we have come to immediately another one. In what is said? Tasmad va etasmad vijnanamayat. Is it not? Tasmad va vijnanamayat anyah antara atma anandamaya. There is other inside, then the vijnana is ananda. Again, tenaisha purnaha savaisha purushavidaha tasya purushavidatam anvayam purushavidaha. Like every kosha. And this Anandamaya, the Panchama Kosha, also is like a Pakshi, Anandamaya Purusha. He also has got the Shiraha, then Uttara Pakshaha, Dakshina Pakshaha, Atma and Pucham. So Priyameva Shiraha, then Modo Dakshina Pakshaha, Pramoda Uttara Pakshaha, Ananda Atma, Brahma Pucham Pratishtha. Then to this Anandamaya Kosha, again there is quotation from the Rigveda to substantiate. Then beyond this Anandamaya is Brahma Swarupa. Now this very thoroughly, not only we have to understand, but in our own meditation scene, spend as much time as required. We don't know where do we stand, what strong vasanas we have. Each one is a different level of evolution. Though we are together in the class, but each one's evolutionary level is different. But every one of us individually, when we become deep intense in every day, with the clarity that this is Annamaya, this is Pranamaya, I am not Annamaya, I am Pranamaya. This is Pranamaya, this is Manomaya, I am not Pranamaya, I am Manomaya. This is Manomaya, this is Vijnanamaya, I am not Manomaya, I am Vijnanamaya. This is Vijnanamaya, this is Anandamaya, I am not Vijnanamaya, I am Anandamaya. Then this is Anandamaya, this is Brahma, I am not Anandamaya, I am Brahma. This way we have to vigorously practice in such a way, not only the intellectual understanding, but actually we can experience ourselves, both the detaching from the lower koshas as an Atma and attaching with the higher kosha as an Atma, that experience. Detaching from the lower kosha, from the Atma Tadatma and saying that it is an Atma. And attaching with the higher kosha as an Atma and experiencing that this is not me. In this way we can consciously feel. The joy, especially when we come up to the Manomaya, rejecting Anna and Prana, is so freedom, so much relaxation from these two koshas, and two kosha created all the samsara. Maja aata hai. And from the Manomaya also, when we come to Vijnana, and in the Vijnanamaya seated, when we make our goal is only to know the truth, nothing else of the Mano, Prana, Anna, we are giving value at all. Whole samsara is gone. The whole samsara is up to Anna, Prana, Mano. Then the moksha is yet to be recognized. So that is done through the Vijnanamaya, bypassing Anandamaya. Through the Vijnanamaya only we discover ourselves. This is what should be our journey. First of all, to be thoroughly understood. Then intensely, deeply conducted till we travel and reach out. Okay. Now let us take a the Bhashyam again, word by word for this, for our clear understanding. This is where is our test. The mind says हमने पढ़ लिया. पूछो उस मन को, अरे तुमको समझ में आया क्या? नहीं आया. समझ की बात मेरा नहीं है, वो तो बुद्धि का है. तो बुद्धि को पूछ समझा क्या? नहीं समझा. अब समझने के लिए पढ़ रहे हैं, तो बिना समझे हाउ डू यू से दैट आगे बढ़े? We should talk to the mind like that. Is it not? The mind always wants to run and finish without understanding. Like the children, when you take them for your temple visit and all, वो आपको मंदिर का अच्छा पूजा दर्शन प्रणाम करने ही नहीं देगा. That fellow's nature is chanchalata. Therefore, he goes on pulling you only. So because you were with that stupid fellow, you are also creator of that fellow. You don't enjoy any temple darshan. खींचता ही जाएगा. चलो घर जाएंगे, चलो इधर खाएंगे, उधर खाएंगे. You know, with the children, it's such a headache. Same is the mind. Whenever you see your mind, remember your children, grandchildren. Whenever you see your children, grandchildren, remember your mind. They are nagging. Don't allow the buddhi to work at all. Is it not? When he is throwing tantrum and shouting, crying in the public, how can you have the darshan? अब उसके लिए छोड़ कर यार. In 100, we can see in so many cases, almost near the door of the temple, this fellow makes such a nonsense that they leave the darshan and come back home. How many places it happens? And that all is because of our prarabdha to have those type of stupid children or jiva as children. Do good upasanas, pujas, proper children will come as the proper jivas will come as children, grandchildren who don't do all this nonsense. These are all ultimately it is my prarabdha which brings whoever are around me in any of the relation. By the way, just an example here. Now let us see. Vijnanam yajnam tanute. Yesterday we saw it. Here the meaning of that is Vijnanavanihi yajnam tanoti shraddha adi purvakam. A simple looking, crystal clear sentence said by Bhashyakara containing umpteen number of meanings, suggestions, guidances. Exhaustively we saw yesterday. The meaning of that is this much, ki be a Vijnanavan. How? By studying Shastra. And what is the proof that we have studied Shastra and Vijnanam, one we became? Only one proof, that through us all the time the yajnas are happening. So when we are not doing the yajnas as told by the Shastra, then we have not become the Vijnanavan at all. See, Vijnanam yajnam tanute, Vijnanavan hi yajnam tanoti. The other way around is what? The one who is doing every yajna, he alone can be accepted as Vijnanavan. See the clarity? Reverse se dekho to. Therefore, if I am not doing my yajnas every day, in whatever the varna ashrama I belong to, I with all my vijnana of the Vijnanika outer sciences, according to the Upanishad, we are not Vijnanavan, we are Ajnanavan only. Vijnanam yajnam danute, Vijnanavanihi yajnam danute. But some people are doing yajna, they go to Arisama, they go to here, every day they do yajna. But this yajna is Shraddha Adi Purvakam. Shraddha Adi Purvakam means what? As we already exhaustively discussed, the doing of yajna should not be only routine, mechanical. In that, the authority of the Shastra, Rutam Dakshina Pakshaha, from that authority is born the conviction that doing yajna alone gives me the phala required for me. If that yajna is dravya yajna, doing yajna alone gives me jnana and moksha. If it is the jnana yajna, with that shraddha at every moment of doing that yajna, when we maintain, then we are doing yajna. Satyam isko कहते हैं. Satyam Uttara Paksha. And while doing so, Yoga Atma. And all that we are not doing for our own special individual purpose, but for the total of, so for the sake of totality. Therefore, the Brahma Pucham Pratishtha. Is it not? That is what the mantra. This is called as Shraddha Adi Purvakam. श्रद्धाओं के साथ जो यज्ञ कर रहे हैं वही विज्ञानवान है, उसी को सब अच्छे से फल मिलते हैं. अदरवाइज अज्ञानवान ओनली. We have to make this happen in our life. Therefore, what I need minimum things in my life. For that, which are the yajnas that are told for me to be done. कोई ऐसी चीज पढ़ाने वाला ही नहीं. Therefore, we are ignorant. Therefore, not Vijnanavan. Vijnanam yajnam tanute, Vijnanavan hi yajnam tanoti Shraddhadi Purvakam. Tanoti means conducts, does. Therefore, whoever are doing yajnas daily, they are akalmand. जो नहीं कर रहे उनका मंद अकल है. अर्लियर इज हिंदी वाला, दूसरा वाला संस्कृत वाला. अकलमंद और मंद अकल. See, these यज्ञ, the उपासनास, the अतिथि सत्कारा, the गुरु सेवा, इनमें जितना ज्यादा फंसेंगे उतना संसार के फसाव से बाहर आएंगे. Is it not? That is why, unless we are bound by these positive bondages, we can never be liberated from the negative bondages of the mind of infinite projections, of the world of infinite attractions. This is called as the common sense in spirituality. To keep ourselves busy in yajnas, in upasana, the guru sevas, that no time for the mind to run in the world, no chance for the world to enter into the mind. This is the way we protect. Who can do all that? The one who knows the whole world is projected, the mind is a corrupt fellow. Give a chance to the mind, he will become dost to the world. Give a chance to the world, he will create the mindness so strong in me that the intellect, etc., never work on. The one who has matured in this understanding, he alone says, I don't want my mind and the worldliness to become friend to pull me into the samsara. Therefore, I'll be busy in my yajna, upasana, swadhyaya sarvanadi, guru ityadi seva, dharma nirvana. Full stop. चांस नहीं है मेरे को, बस मैं मरूंगा लेकिन और किसी में नहीं फंसूंगा. If this care is not taken, care, like in any medication, if the cares are not taken care, like सर्दी हो गया, if we are going on eating ice cream and exposing to the cold weather, जाएगा क्या सर्दी? Should we not be careful regarding it? If any other ailments are there, more than the treatment is the cares which see that treatment is faster and no relapses. In the same way, spiritual growth may more than actual sadhana in the beginning days is to be careful with those things which nullify or neutralize the sadhana. How to do so? Only one. Vijnanavan hi yajnam tanoti Shraddhadi Purvakam. Whole day busy in that. So in today's world, also we can do yajna agadi. Oh, so beautiful it is. If not, at least the upasanas, at least the daiva bhakti sadhanas, anything in which the Lord is there. I'm just diluting the definition. I should not do it. I'm seeking the forgiveness of all the rishis and telling. If we cannot do those yajnas, at least adhyatmaka related things every day we have to involve in throughout the day. Not 1 hour or 2 hours. Whole day. You can see automatically, like I am telling my example. 6 classes when I do, अब 6 क्या 8 हो गए. 2 Bhagavatas are there and 1 Lalita Sahasranam. In that so much busy, there is no time for anywhere to go, anybody to talk. And nobody is talking, nobody is calling also. That is good for me, that I am enjoying my own Shastra Adhyanam, at least Adhyanam. Then the conviction, then the meditations will continue if I continue. The prarabdha of health and all, nobody can avoid. Even a saint's body will have prarabdha. Oh, to feel it's not in our hand. Oh, to chalega. Everybody can do that. Is it not? Every can do, kya should do. We should not put any other logic, excuses or conviction. अब तो स्वामी जी हो, मैं क्या स्वामी हूँ, मैं भी अभी दोनों फ्री है जीव के रूप में, क्या करे या क्या ना करे. स्वामी कुछ भी करता नहीं, जो करता है वो स्वामी बनता है. In that way, everyone, is it not? And I have to be careful where the mind is leaking, where the world is trying to enter. I have to keep on curbing it and curtailing it. Only then, after Gashap Samprarabdha goes away, the mind intellect starts settling in the highway of only spiritual sadhana. When that is started and we keep on traveling, is it not? In between again any prarabdhas can come. पता नहीं, झेलते हुए समझदारी के साथ negotiate करते हुए. Just because it is Rama Karya doesn't mean that Hanumanji will have a smooth journey. It is Rama Karya. Expectedly it should be smooth because it is Rama Karya, but not necessary. You will have Mainaka, you will have Surasa, you will have Simika, you will have Lankini, you will have all the Rakshasis around Sita ji. Okay? You will have to go through. So today we have seen Vijnanam Yajnam Tanute Vijnanavanahi Yajnam Tanoti. In a bigger sense, whole life is a Yajnam, in which all my personality I am doing ahuti at the altar of Brahma Jnana to experience that Brahma Tattva as me. This is called as Jnana Yajna, the highest. Those who cannot do, then they can do the Dravya Yajna also for their own survival and all. But those who are only in the Brahma Jnana Yajna, whatever the survival, Yoga Kshemam Vaham. We only have a fear. We don't have faith in Lord's words that when you do yajna to reach me, I'll take care of your needs. What Bhagavan says, we don't trust him. पता नहीं आप भूल गए तो, because we forget, we think Lord also forgets. Like we are busy, so we think Lord is busy. Therefore, he may not find. ऐसा नहीं होता है. You have to have faith. He will anyway do it. अभी भी वही तो कर रहे हैं हमारा योगाक्षेम. So we have so many fears. What will happen to my children, grandchildren? अभी कब तक जाओगे? Children तक करो, बस grandchildren को छोड़ दो. Is it not? Parents, children, you, only three. Grandparents, नमस्कार बस. Grandchildren, बस उनको अच्छे कोई सलाह देना है तो दो. और कौन है सुनने को आज grandchildren? How to curtail ourselves, our mind, our involvement, so that we are available for ourselves, for our own sadhana. These are the ideas. Now, second one is what? Ataha, no, continues. Ataha Vijnanasya Kartrutvam. Therefore, who is the Karta? Vijnanamaya Kosha. That is why Tanute word is used. Tanute means Kurute. So the Vijnanam Yajnam Tanute, Vijnana Kosha is the one who is in which is the Karta is seated to do. This Karta we are talking. Actually Vijnanamaya ही कर रहा है. कर्ता को हम ला रहे हैं बिकॉज हमको कर्ता बनने में ही मजा आता है. करते जा रहे हैं अभी. इज अ वेरी इंटेलिजेंट वे ऑफ उपनिषद. विज्ञानमय कोश काम यज्ञ कर रहा है ऐसे बोल रहे हैं. इंडिविजुअलिटी का बात ला नहीं रहे बिकॉज यज्ञ करना इंपॉर्टेंट, नॉट इंडिविजुअलिटी. That is called as dissolving individuality in the yajna karma. Yajna is done for the samashti. Therefore, the yajna is merged in the samashti. These are very sublime things. In this round of study, we will not touch it because it was too heavy to catch. So that we will not talk about. Straight away, what is Upanishad said, that much. Therefore, Vijnanam Yajnam Tanute Ataha. Therefore, Vijnanasya Kartrutvam. Who is doing karma? Vijnanamaya Kosha. That is what is said by the word Tanute iti. Okay. Now only the yajnas, the Vijnanamaya does. Who is doing the other karmas? Paap ho ya punya ho. Other karma. Which are not in the yajna bhavana as per Shastra. वो भी हो रहा है ना हमारे द्वारा दिन भर. Who is doing that? Is the mind doing? Is the senses body? No. Mind, sense, body, prana are only instruments. Using the instruments, even all these karmas, the Vijnanamaya only does. Therefore, karmani tanute. Picha. P means also. Apicha. Karmani tanute apicha. Vijnanameva. What an important information it is. So, Vijnanamaya Kosha is a place of Kartrutvam. Vijnanamaya Kosha is a place of Jnana. The ज्ञानम जीरो भी हो सकता है, द ज्ञानम पूरा अनऑथराइज्ड अनऑथेंटिक नेगेटिव भी हो सकता है, तो ज्ञानम ऑथेंटिक भी हो सकता है और ऑथेंटिक भरा हुआ ज्ञान भी हो सकता है, डिपेंडिंग ऑन हाउ वी फील अवर विज्ञानमय कोश. Just like now our age is, let us say something 70-80. इमेजिन पिछले 25-20 साल को छोड़ो, उसके बाद वाले 50 सालों में डेली 3-4 घंटे if we had spent somehow, how you manage, don't know, in the study of Shastras from last 50 years, let us say, if you are 75, 25 को छोड़ो, उससे लेकर, would have not been our intellect full of entire Vedic ज्ञानम? हमारे विज्ञानमय कोश में भरपूर ऑथेंटिक नॉलेज होता था. हमने किया नहीं, वो अलग बात है, क्या होता तो. And then whatever the jnanam we tried in last 50 years, that only is there in now. And whatever the negative authority, or we have taken the authority, negative things, that only is there in our heart. And some things we don't know also. जानने की कोशिश नहीं की. तो maintain ignorance or get a wrong knowledge or get a right knowledge. This choice is always ours. This is about Vijnanamaya Kosha. And last 2-3 years, we are trying to fill the Vijnanamaya Kosha with the Vedic Jnanam. And that is growing because we are trying. If you stop it, again go back to the worldly knowledge, again that will enter, this will go. Whose choice it is? It is everybody's choice. Knowing that it is my choice, knowing that I am choosing wrongly, knowing and wanting to choose the rightly, is the one who deserves evolution in life. The one who doesn't know or not, he is becoming careless that it is choice and saying that, taking choice by himself, yet blaming the world that because the world have chosen negative, is an irresponsible crook. You cannot respect. Like the world is in front of me, Shreya and Preyaha. Choice is mine. I choose Preya and I say the world has prompted me to take the Shreyas. It is not a healthy sign. You can't blame the world. World will have Preya and Shreya. That's not in your hands. It is your choice to choose the Shreyas, not Preyas. That is why यमधर्मराज हो, भगवान कृष्ण हो, राम हो, कोई भी रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी यहाँ नहीं लेते हैं. दोनों में कौन सा चुनना है? After we choose, then they give result of whatever we do. Shopkeeper will not choose things for us. Once we choose, then he will give the bill, take money, give the object, properly pack करके वो देगा. He will display everything. You should have दिमाग की क्या लेना है उसमें. That is why the दिमाग is given to human beings. That is why we are separate from the animals, have both chance to destroy ourselves as well as make ourselves. Is it not? Animals also are given vegetables and fruits. We are also given vegetable and fruit. They eat with छिलका, उनका वैसा आदत होता है. हम छिलका खाकर अच्छे चीज डालकर भी खा सकते हैं और केमिकल्स भी मिलाकर अपने जीवन को सत्यानाश भी कर सकते हैं. Nowadays we are doing the second one. Such a divine, great vegetables, fruits given by the Lord, by chemicalizing them, the fruits which are supposed to give us taste and energy are becoming cause of our own destruction by becoming poison. किसका है करतूत? Human being का ही है ना. So we are destroying also, we can make also by our choice. Just one example. तो विज्ञानम यज्ञं तनुते कर्माणि तनुते पिच. हो गया. Therefore, कर्माणि च यस्माद् विज्ञानकर्तृकं सर्वं तस्मात् युक्तं विज्ञानमयः आत्मा ब्रह्म इति. ठीक है. इसमें 2 स्टेजेस है. Therefore, because the Karta is not Annapranamana, because the Karta is Vijnanamaya, and I always feel myself to be the Karta, therefore I am Vijnanamaya. First step is this. Therefore, I am is Atma. So the Vijnanamaya has become Atma now. Now this Vijnanamaya Atma has to be done with Upasana as Brahma. Clear? That the next continuation. So who is Karta? I am Karta, according to my feeling. Who is Karta according to the Upanishad? Vijnanamaya Kosha. Therefore, who is Vijnanamaya Kosha? I am. Therefore, who am I? Vijnanamaya Kosha. Therefore, what is my Atma? Vijnanamaya Kosha. Therefore, I am no more Manomaya Kosha. See, this is how through the Upanishads help, through our own analysis, we have to dissociate ourselves from our identity with the Anna Prana Mana as me. They will be there as instruments, but not as Atma. What is Atma of me now? Vijnanamaya only. Now this Vijnanamaya Kosha has to be done with the Upasana of Brahma. Again, the Vijnanamaya Kosha may he, as we already said, what knowledge we fill and what desires we get and what karmas we do with the mana, buddhi, indriya, that decides what results we get. विज्ञानमय कोश इज है. उस विज्ञानमय कोश में आप क्या डालोगे? Like you have a locker in a bank. In the locker, what you are putting? You are putting gold or you are putting cash और अपने घर के कागजात लगा रहे हो या some smuggled goods you are putting because nobody knows. It is your locker, you are paying for it monthly, annual, so you know. विज्ञानमय कोश है, उसमें विज्ञान पाने का कैपेसिटी है. वो शास्त्र का विज्ञान होगा, अशास्त्र का होगा, वो साधना वाला होगा, वो संसार का होगा, या पुण्य वाला होगा या पाप का होगा. It is again our choice. Yeah, like with buddhi I can gain knowledge. Whether I am gaining spiritual knowledge through Shastra Adhyanam and Shravanam or gaining the worldly knowledge through the study of other useless books and listening to other things, that will be felt in our mind. Then through the Shastra Jnanam, am I aiming at Paramatma as the goal? Or through the Vijnanam of the nonsense of the world, am I aiming the worldly things as goal? It is our choice. According to that, the mana, indriya, sharira are used for the work. So the spiritual speaker uses his dehendriya mana for that sadhana. The worldly person is using his dehendriya mana for these things. Vijnanamaya is given, freedom is given. You have the Shastra to study and make the Lord as goal. You have the unwanted thing also in the world to listen and make this as goal. This makes you, this mars you. You want to make yourself or mar, that choice is yours. After all that is done, now the next thing is this Vijnanamaya also. When you do the upasana of it as the Brahma, you have this beautiful phala. So therefore, I have to limit our Vijnanamaya Kosha only to three things. First thing is the Vijnanamaya Kosha to study Shastras. Second, according to Shastra, whole life should be Yajnamaya. Second, this Vijnanamaya should be intelligent enough to do only those karmas which are of destructive nature. Karmani tanate pecha. After these two are done, only third more thing is done to be done with Vijnanamaya Kosha is do the Vijnanamaya Kosha Upasana as Brahma. है कि नहीं? हमको गवर्नमेंट ने कार दिया तो गवर्नमेंट का ही काम करो जिसके लिए दिया गया है. उसके बाद उस गाड़ी को गवर्नमेंट को दे दो. So the Brahma gave us Vijnanamaya Kosha. With Vijnanamaya Kosha we studied Shastras, we are doing sadhana. Apart from that, the Vijnanamaya Kosha is given only to the Brahma. You understand? Other than that, it is a misuse. When it goes to the mind and goes to senses and goes to intellect, they always tempt you. Like when you ask your grandchild, बेटा क्लास में बैठे घूमने चले, वो क्यों बोलेगा आपको क्लास में बैठे? ऐसे दादाजी घूमने चलते. He doesn't know class and its value or importance. In the same way, mana, indriya, deha, if you ask them, tell me what to do, they won't say, हाँ बैठो क्लास में. वो तो चल घूमने है. मन कहेगा अपने संकल्प पे बंगे. Pranamaya Kosha will say, let us eat. Annamaya says, let us sleep. इसलिए वहाँ जाना ही नहीं. Now, imagine about a personality who is living life only like this. Puja Gurudev. With his Vijnanamaya Kosha, what he is doing? Studying Shastras, doing his sadhana, at the kala of his sadhana we are talking, just because that example we are taking for ourselves. Other than that, his Vijnanamaya Kosha is offered the total only. Therefore, totality worked through him in the service of the whole world. There is no mana, indriya, and sharira pulling him toward the samsara. He is using mana, indriya, sharira for the Vijnanamaya's work. Therefore, you can't even imagine any raga dvesha in his mind. You can't imagine any pranamaya kosha tadatmya or the annamaya laziness. Chance ही नहीं. अन्नमय को रेस्ट देना अलग है, लेजीनेस अलग है. प्राणमय को खाना देना अलग है, भोगासक्ति अलग है. खाना तो देना पड़ता है टू मेंटेन इट, बट दैट इज ओनली टू मेंटेन. हाउ भगवान आदि शंकर जी मस्ट हैव लिव्ड. इट इज अन्न प्राण मन एंड विज्ञान. हाउ गुरुदेव लिव्ड. ऐसा हमको सोचने से हमको भी आइडियाज आते कि हमें क्या करना है. एंड हमको देखो ओनली एट द लेवल ऑफ अन्न प्राण मन. विज्ञान तो खाली खालिस्तान. जय पंजाब. इज इट नॉट? विज्ञानमय तो हमारा हमेशा गुलाम है मन के लाइक्स एंड डिसलाइक्स का, प्राणमय का भूख हंगर का, अन्नमय का जो सो जाओ. Okay, tomorrow we will see one or two of these thoughts. Then the upasana, how it is to be done. Two things are told here. है ना? करो भी कि विज्ञानमय इज ब्रह्म, बट सेकंड इज इंपॉर्टेंट कि प्रमाद होने नहीं देना. दैट होल रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी श्रुति माता इज पुटिंग ऑन आवर हेड ओनली. And this way, without pramada, when we do upasana, that the Vijnanamaya is Brahma only, then we become with one with Brahma, and all the sukha which that Brahma, here Brahma is not Parabrahma, the Hiranyagarbha, that becomes ours. Like a multi-millionaire Raja, his own son. He just separated from the father, begging on the road. That Raja never discarded this fellow. This fellow only left that father because every son fights with the father. Most of them. Right? What he has to do? Nothing but you drop his nonsense of ego, go and say sorry to father and say, Papa, मैं आपका बेटा हूँ, बताओ. अरे मेरा सारा प्रॉपर्टी तुम्हारा है रे. You are the here, we are the next one to get all that. So this Vijnanamaya, leaving the Mahat Tattva or Hiranyagarbha, becoming slave to Anna Prana Mana. Therefore it is only suffering all the time. Instead of that, you can Vijnanamaya can wean away from it, tuned to that what do you say, the Mahat Tattva or Hiranyagarbha, all the Sukha of Hiranyagarbha comes to it. But this fellow doesn't know unless somebody counsels him. Arey, you are out of your own ego, you are leaving your father and suffering. Why don't you drop your ego and identify with him? He will give you. So too the Guru and Shastra will have to come and say, Oh Vijnanamaya, instead of identifying with Hiranyagarbha by surrender, why are you getting lost in your Anna Prana Mana and suffering? The child realized, then went back to father. So too my Vijnanamaya should realize and go back to the father, the Hiranyagarbha. Then all his sukha is mine. This should click to us. If that clicks to the child, youngster he goes to father. नहीं तो अब फिर भी आप जो कुछ भी कहो मैं नहीं जाऊंगा बाबा के पास, तो भीख मांगते रहो. So Upanishad is saying again and again कि when you identify with Hiranyagarbha, sarvan kaman samashnute. And always that king tells that counseling person, go and tell my son, I love him. Somehow he has got misunderstandings with me. Tell him that when he accepts me as father and comes to me, I'll give everything to him. So to the Hiranyagarbha, through the Shastra and Guru, telling the Vijnanamaya Kosha in us. Come out of Anna Prana Mana, identify with me, every sukha I'll give you. But this egoistic youngster Vijnanamaya, Turant thodi sunta hai. That's the problem. But the Hiranyagarbha will go on waiting. Shruti and Guru will go on teaching till we understand. Little we will see tomorrow. Om 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 Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnasya Purnamadave Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Om Sri Guru Bhyo Parabrahmane. Yesterday, today, our introduction class also, Upanishad study also is of very good value and importance. We can listen it once more.